Imagine this scene. You're stuck in traffic, you're late, and someone cuts you off. In that instant, your whole body reacts. Your heart pounds, your blood boils, you're already cursing to yourself inside the car. 20 minutes later, you get to work, and you're still pissed off. An hour later, you tell someone the story, and you feel the rage all over again. But what if I told you the original chemical reaction? That rush of adrenaline and cortisol lasts less than 2 minutes. Everything after that? That was you choosing to reignite the fire. Not consciously, of course, but choosing. Today, I'm going to show you how to stop being a prisoner to your own emotions. Not with complicated meditation techniques or with empty motivational platitudes, but with a real understanding of how anger works and how to disarm it before it consumes you. Think of your body as a building with a hypersensitive security system. When something threatens you, real or imagined, the alarm blares. Your nervous system floods your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. It's an automatic, primal reaction, one that's existed since we had to outrun predators. The problem is, this alarm doesn't distinguish a lion from a snide comment at the office. The chemical reaction is the same, but here's the detail that changes everything. That chemical surge dissipates on its own in less than 2 minutes. If you do nothing, literally nothing, the feeling passes. So why do we stay angry for hours, days, sometimes years? Because we feed the cycle. We replay the scene in our minds. We rehearse what we should have said. We tell the story to other people. Each repetition reactivates the alarm as if the event were happening all over again. It's like the fire alarm going off because of a lit candle. Instead of blowing out the candle, you'd set the curtains on fire just to justify the noise. There's a phrase we repeat without thinking. He knows exactly how to get under my skin, as if someone else had a remote control for our emotions. But the truth is, nobody presses a button that isn't there. When someone provokes you, and you react with disproportionate intensity, it's not about what they did, it's about what they activated. That sarcastic comment from a coworker irritates you so much, not because it's so offensive, but because it echoes the critical voice of someone who hurt you in the past, parent, a teacher, an ex. And there's another layer. Anger is almost never the real emotion. It's a kind of emotional bodyguard. It steps forward to protect what truly hurts. It could be fear, shame, rejection, or loneliness. When your partner forgets an important date and you explode, anger screams, "You don't care about me." But underneath, what hurts is the feeling of not being a priority. When you learn to look beneath the anger and recognize the real emotion, something powerful happens. You finally get to say what needs to be said. "I felt forgotten" opens a conversation. "You never remember anything" starts a fight. Viktor Frankl survived Nazi concentration camps. And even amidst absolute horror, he realized something that transformed modern psychology. Between what happens to you and your reaction, there's a space. It's a tiny space, almost imperceptible, but in it lies your freedom. Most people live as if that space doesn't exist. Someone says something, and I react. No pause, no filter. Like a billiard ball, one hits another, and the direction is set by the impact. But you're not a billiard ball. You have the capacity to perceive the impulse and choose what to do with it. That rude email from your boss arrives. Your first instinct is to reply immediately. But before you hit send, you can ask yourself, what will I be proud of tomorrow? That simple question is enough to activate the space between stimulus and response. Finding that space is like discovering a secret door that was always there. You don't need to react automatically. You can be the author of your own response. There's a part of you that isn't anger, isn't fear, isn't anxiety. It's the part that watches all of it happen, like someone watching a storm from a window. You see the lightning, you hear the thunder, but you're not out there getting soaked. That's the difference between saying I'm angry and saying I'm noticing anger rising. It seems subtle, but it changes everything. In the first case, you are the anger. In the second, you're watching the anger. And the one who watches has a choice. In practice, it works like this. Your teenage kid rolls their eyes at you. Instead of exploding, you mentally note irritation appearing, heart rate rising. Just that act of naming it already reduces the intensity. You step out of automatic mode and into conscious mode. This isn't repressing emotion. It's the opposite. It's feeling everything, but without being swept away. It's the difference between surfing the wave and being swallowed by it. What if the people who annoy you most were, in fact, the most useful for your growth? It sounds absurd, I know, but think with me. In the gym, nobody gets stronger lifting easy weights. Growth comes from discomfort. Emotionally, it works the same way. That controlling boss is training your patience. That relative who always criticizes is strengthening your ability to stay calm under pressure. When you shift your perspective from "this person is persecuting me" to "this situation is making me stronger," you step out of the victim role and into the student role. The entire dynamic shifts. You stop wishing the world were easier and start becoming stronger. Next time someone gets under your skin, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking yourself, "What is this teaching me?" A lot of people confuse having boundaries with being cold or distant. But a boundary isn't a wall. A wall blocks everything, the good and the bad. A boundary is a filter. It lets in what's good for you and blocks what harms you. Having boundaries is calmly saying, "I understand you're frustrated, but I can't talk while you're yelling. When you calm down, I'm here." That's not coldness. It's respect. For you and for the other person. And there's a rule few people talk about. You can't help anyone if you're emotionally exhausted. It's like the airplane safety briefing. Put on your own oxygen mask first. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's a prerequisite for being useful. If someone always drains you, ask yourself, what simple boundary could I set that would protect my peace without destroying the relationship? Sometimes it's just limiting the time. Other times it's changing the subject. The important thing is you choose consciously instead of passively absorbing. There's a huge difference between running from a conversation and taking a strategic pause. Running is avoiding. Pausing is preparing to handle it better. When you're emotionally activated, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational decisions, literally loses power. It's like trying to do math during a roller coaster ride. Your body is too busy surviving to think clearly. So when you feel you're about to say something you'll regret, try saying, "This conversation is important to me, but now isn't the best time. Can we pick this up after dinner?" You're not abandoning the conversation. You're giving it the respect it deserves. 5 minutes of pause can prevent weeks of repair. Everyone said something in the heat of the moment they wished they could erase. The pause is the undo button before the damage happens. Here's perhaps the most powerful concept of all. You don't react to reality. You react to the story you tell yourself about reality. Your boss sends a short, direct email, version 1 of the story. He's unhappy with me, probably wants to fire me. Result: anxiety, defensiveness, a sleepless night. Version 2: he's busy and got straight to the point to help me improve quickly. Result: motivation, gratitude. Same event, different stories, completely opposite emotional experiences. Most of us don't realize we're constantly inventing stories and treating them as facts. When you learn to see your interpretations as interpretations, not as absolute truth, you gain the power to rewrite the script. Next time you feel anger, stop and ask, what story am I telling myself? What if there's a different version, equally possible? that doesn't cause me suffering. Everything I've shared is worthless if it stays just theory. Knowledge without practice is entertainment, and I don't want this video to be just entertainment for you. So here's the challenge. Pick just one of these ideas and practice it for a week. Just one. It could be the inner observer. Every time you feel anger, just notice, I'm observing the anger rise. That's all. No judgment, no forcing anything. Every time you choose a different response than your automatic reaction, you're literally rewiring your brain. It's not a metaphor, it's neuroscience. New neural pathways form with repetition. That person you admire because they never lose their cool. They weren't born that way. They practiced until it became natural. And you can do the same. Think about who you'll be when difficult people lose their power over your peace. That version of you isn't far off. It's one choice away.